Alrighty, welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Today's video is going to be kind of continuing off of last video. The last video I talked about, in my opinion, the best type of rod for a beginner bass angler. It is the same type of rod that I utilized close to 20 years ago, and it still applies to this day. Today's video is going to be about the best 3 rods a new bass angler should pick up, should have. These were the first 3 rods that I had in my arsenal. It's easy to expand off of that. To me, I think of fishing just like golfing in the sense of having multiple clubs. You can't just golf a game with one club. They have certain clubs for certain types of situations, certain courses. It's just like fishing, with rod and reels. You got to have the right technique for the right job, for the right current weather pattern, seasonal pattern, whatever it may be. Let's just go ahead and get into it. The first rod I feel like everybody needs to have, and this was, for me especially, was a 7-foot medium action, 1-piece spinning rod. That right there done a lot for me. Taught me a whole lot on how to catch fish, how to hook fish, how to fight fish, how to spool my line, how to just everything in fishing. 7-foot medium action. 1 piece. You can go with 2-piece, but you hate it because you won't make sure the 2 pieces are stuck together, and you go to cast and you fling out half your rod out in front of you. And it just looks like chaos. So yeah, I prefer the 1-piece rod. It does fit in every car. Maybe a smart car about the only thing a rod won't fit in, but I fit 7'6" rods in a little 4-door car easily. But anyway, so 7-foot medium action spinning rod, which we have right here. It's a Bass Pro Shop Tourney Special combo. It's right here with the red crankbait on it. Right now I have this on with 6-pound monofilament. It's what I utilize in the winter for winter fishing, winter crankbaiting. That is a balsa bait. I can really sling that thing like a freaking country mile. But you can utilize all your finesse techniques off of that setup right there. And when stuff gets tough in the summertime, or when you're just not catching fish, maybe the lake sucks. Maybe it's just not a good day to fish. Even though every day is good to fish. You just got to know how to fish. I still get skunked myself. Same with the pros. They still get skunked from time to time too. I think people will be very surprised at that. But a 7-foot medium action, 1-piece spinning rod. It doesn't have to be any high dollar price rod. Just something that you teach yourself and utilize, and you can figure it all out. And then I would stress about really upgrading from there, and maybe going with something a little bit more of a price tag on it. This is a 7'2" Johnny Morris spinning signature series spinning reel, rod and reel. I've had it for a long time. I've caught salmon on it up in Alaska. I've caught I think a 614 on it. 614 largemouth. It's a medium heavy, 7'2". Gear ratio is 5:1:1. That is one thing. I really love this. It's super slow. Everything's so fast. Nowadays all these spinning reels is coming out like 5.21, 5.5, 5.61, and some of them even like 6 or 7. Like that's just really fast for a spinning reel. But I utilize this for medium-sized topwaters. It's a medium heavy, so it's got some backbone to it. Let's check out the schematics of it. 7'2" lure weight is 1/4 to 5/8 ounce. Line weight is 6 to 17 pound. It does come with 2 spools, which I really love because I can spool one up with monofilament or fluorocarbon, and the other one I could do braid, or I can do 2 different diameters of braid or fluorocarbon, and you can easily change it out. But the rod's a little bit stiffer, so you have to take that into mind. It has a very nice drag on it. I've caught some really big fish with this rod and reel. Over the years, I've caught a really nice fish with the Pompadour, made by Jackal. But you know, if you suck at these type of bait casters and you just have to go with the beefier spinning rod, don't be ashamed of that. You could really skip baits underneath trees, overhanging trees with the spinning rod and reel if you can't do it with the bait caster. There's a bunch of cool things about this. You know, this is original fishing rod and reel. I mean, for the longest, and it still is. It still catches it. I call it an egg beater or a fairy wand. It's just something I really don't want to really have in my hand most of the time. I prefer the bait casters, but that's what caught me. That's what got me here. Got me to this was these. So don't be ashamed if you have to utilize the old egg beater to catch some fish. So right there, that's just the 7-foot medium action 1-piece rod, tourney special right here, the green one. Less than $100, probably $70 for that combo right there. Maybe even less than that. Pretty cheap. This one is a little bit pricier. I think it's like $220, $240 for that combo. This is another one that I grabbed from a store, local sports store. I found this Quantum throttle for super cheap. I think $20. It's a 20 size reel, and I put it on a I think it's a Berkeley Heritage rod or something like that. It's a 6'9" medium action spinning rod. Braid 8 to 15 pound, trilene 6 to 12. Lure weight is 1/8 to 3/4. I use it as my jerkbait rod in the wintertime. I got 8-pound monofilament on there right now. Usually I use the 8-pound fluorocarbon on this one. But yes, it's just a cheap rod. It's like maybe a $30 rod with a $20 reel on it, but I catch some freaking giants on it. You just got to utilize your drag. Line is so cheap, monofilament is, and you know, before all these fancy lines came out and all these fancy knots to, you know, go from a braid leader to a monofilament leader, you know, or a braid main line to a monofilament leader. Back in the day, they didn't have braid, they didn't have fluorocarbon, they just had freaking monofilament. That was the #1 line back then. And I think a lot of people just overthink some stuff a lot of times. When I'm in a pinch, I won't be afraid to utilize some monofilament. You can't utilize it for any like aggressive hook sets, as in the frog. You'll just have headaches the whole time. I've tried it; it doesn't work. But so that's the spinning rod. You know, there's 2 different choices. Either you get the lower one, which you can utilize for all your finesse techniques, all your worm techniques. Yeah, it's just a great learning tool. The next rod that I would utilize purchasing is just like the last video of mine. If you hadn't checked that out, check it out. It is the best rod for a beginner bass fisherman, woman. You should check it out. It's on my channel. But the next rod that we're going to utilize is a 7-foot medium heavy rod. This is a Swimbait 58th rod. It's a custom XP speed stick, Lose, rod and reel. It's a combo. 7-foot medium heavy. It's an IM8 rod. carbon nanotube technology, it says on the rod. It's a 7-foot, medium heavy. It's a little bit lighter than most of the 7-foot medium heavy rods that I'm used to. Back in the day, they used to make these rated for 1.5 ounces. But nowadays, it seems like the premium is, or the standard is just about 1 ounce. This is 7/8 ounce. So it's a little bit lighter, but it still has enough backbone that it will pull big fish out. And yeah, you should definitely try it. Lew's makes quality products. It's very affordable. I think Swimbait 58 uses this as a frog rod. So, you know, your typical frogs, 1/2 ounce to 1 ounce frogs. I know that rod wasn't rated for the 1 ounce frog, but so that'll get a majority, like 90% of your techniques right there. Or 70% of your techniques right there. The spinning rod will pick up all the lighter stuff. This is going to utilize for the medium stuff. And then the last rod that you need to really look at getting is what I call a big stick. It is a 7'6" heavy action rod. Bass Pro Shop Tourney Special makes a very, very nice rod. It's not the best, but I've bought these for probably the last 15 years of my life, and I still have some over there on the other rack over there. I have some of those. They're well worth it if you're starting out. There are better choices if you got a little bit better taste or higher quality into fishing gear, but for the most part, I've caught some very big fish on it. It's just an entry level type of a rod, a 7'6" heavy action rod. You can throw all the bigger stuff that you can't throw on that 7-foot medium heavy, or you can't throw on that friggin' spinning rod. So you go with the 7'6" heavy action. Lure weight is 3/8 ounce to 2 ounce. So this rod is rated for 2 ounces. When you buy this rod, you have to spend a little bit more and get a beefier reel that's going to handle these baits and the stuff that you're going to be putting this reel through. I can't emphasize enough that having a heavy action rod is monumental. Just not for big baits, just for just everything. Like people used to pitch and flip with this all the time. It was just a staple to have a big flipping stick. 7'6" heavy action rod. I've gone through so many in my life. In the last 20 years, I've gone through many rods like this. I prefer a 7'6" heavy action rod for that buzz bait that I'm just engulfed with. I love fishing this bait. This is a Picasso buzzsaw, 3/4 ounce. It's a big buzz bait. When you put the horny toad on there and the 3/0 stinger hook with the keeper, full skirt, oh yeah, that thing weighs probably close to 1 ounce. And you could get away with throwing it on that 7/8, but if you get a really big fish, something stupid could happen. So you can easily throw this big bait on that 7'6" heavy action rod and reel. This is, I didn't talk about the reel on it, but it's just a Johnny Morris. I forget the type of reel it is. Anyway, let's see if it said it. Nope. Can't get lucky. Anyway, it's just a Johnny Morris reel. I think it's like $120, $130 reel. Put on a, $50 rod. That rod's very affordable. It will get you fishing, get you catching, all that good stuff. I can't say enough about the 7'6" heavy action rod, because if you look down here at some of these lures down here, so you would be able to throw this. This is the Bill Lewis Stutter Step. It's a topwater walking bait. I've caught some very big fish with it. It was specifically designed for fishing for tigerfish on the Congo in Africa. So, and this is the bigger 1-ounce model compared to the 5/8 model. So I would fish this on a 7-foot medium heavy rod. I could fish this on a 7'6" heavy action rod. I could fish other spoons on a, 1/2-ounce spoons. I could fish on in super thick slop stuff. I would spool up 65-pound braid on that 7'6" medium heavy rod and reel. I would put at least 65-pound braid on it, because I usually run 50-pound braid on my other 7-foot medium heavy rod. So you can utilize this and throw this in the big slop with the big flipping rod. You're able to throw Whopper Plopper 130s. They weigh 1 ounce and 3/8. You can easily throw this on a 7'6" heavy action rod. You can throw the big swim bait, the Kitech 7.8 with the Owner Flashy Swimmer 10-aught hook modified. I have a video that explains how to modify the hook for the Flashy Swimmer, so it makes this bait weedless. You can fish it around grass, wood, rock, all types of stuff. But you could easily fish that on a 7'6" heavy action rod. All these other stuff, like I prefer this, all these bigger baits, 3/4 ounce rattle traps ripped through the grass. That's going to be on the 7'6" medium or 7'6" heavy action rod. I prefer Power Pro braid, so I would prefer to put 50-pound on the 7-foot medium heavy, and I would put 65 on that. And if I had a choice of line for the spinning rod, for the light spinning rod, I would go with 8-pound to 12-pound monofilament or fluorocarbon, or you can even do braid. For the beefier spinning rod and reel, or spinning reels, fairy wands, this is a medium heavy 7'2" Johnny Moore Signature Series combo. I fished a Pompadour topwater lure on it. I have it spooled up with 40-pound braid, Power Pro. And I think that's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this taught you guys something. Maybe not. Maybe it's just a bunch of blabber and you skip through the video. Who knows? I don't really care. I'm just throwing ideas out to you guys and trying to help everybody be a better fisherman, better bass guy, bass woman, whatever it may be. Anyway, if you made it this far in the video, I appreciate everything. Hit that like button. Helps out the channel. And I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much. Swimbait79 out.